on 2.
For the Tall Blacks last night in Hamilton, going down by 30 to the Boomers. But the boys in black, the Tall Blacks, have a chance of redemption. They take on the green and gold in game 2. Right here on 2 Sport, your home of hoops. Well, King Caprice's in the house. That's right, the basketball travelling roadshow has moved south. Tonight we're coming to you from the Westpac Centre in Christchurch. Hello and welcome along to game 2 of this Jeep International Series. I'm Chris Tubu, and tonight the Tall Blacks have to regroup quickly. They've made a couple of changes and they're getting ready to take on those Boomers from across the Tasman yet again. Now Steve Garfino, our sports commentator from across the ditch, he's got the lowdown on the full lineups for tonight's big match.
And let's check out the starting lineup for game 2 here on 2. Mark Dickel and Phil Jones will line up in the backcourt for the Tall Blacks. For the Boomers, it's Jason Smith and Shane Heel, who was outstanding in game 1. In the center position, Ed Book's got to step it up against the young gun for the Boomers, Andrew Bogut. And at the forward position, Perro Cameron will be banging it down in the power forward. And Craig Bradshaw also as well. For the Boomers in the forward position, Glenn Saville, and the most valuable player in the National Basketball League, Matthew Nielsen.
Yeah, we've had a long, hard think about yesterday's performance, and the temptation is to be philosophical and talk about the fact that we're preparing for Athens and this is just the first step. But in fact, we really need to be analytical. We need to look at this thing and figure out ways that we can turn it around and turn it around fast. Yeah, I think we're a bit of a wounded animal right now. We're hurting, and it's not good enough. And so we need to come out against the Aussies tonight and put in a much better performance, but not just a better performance. I think more importantly, a much better account of ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, this, again, we've said earlier, this is an important series for us. It's not just one game. We've come down to New Zealand to get ready for Athens, and I'd be real disappointed after last night if we didn't move forward on what we've come here to do, and that's improve on our trademarks. You know, we want to get better defensively. We want to get better at our execution, and I thought last night, you know, we were good in patches, but we struggled in other patches. I think we had 6 or 8 minute periods of time during the game where offensively we didn't score, and defensively we had to go to a zone quite a bit because we had trouble containing the ball. So it's very important, game 2, that we pick up and move forward from where we were after game 1, even though we won quite comfortably.
And both teams will go to their benches trying to get a good rotation going, and this is a physical series, so they'll need to go in there. Troy McLean will line up for the Tall Blacks for the first time, as well as Aaron Olsen. Then your familiar names that you're aware of, Dylan Boucher, Rampton, Christopher Ray will line up for the first time, and of course the defensive prowess of Winatana. For the Boomers, they've got Ronaldson, Marr, David Anderson, Martin Catalini. John really looks to shoot the basketball a little bit better, a little bit more often for the Boomers tonight. Coming off the bench, C.J. Bruton and Paul Rogers. And we're here for game 2 of the Jeep International Series. And here's our referees for tonight's basketball game from right to left. As you see, Gavin Few, Dallas Pickering, and Jamie Hickory will be officiating tonight's basketball game, and these guys have their work cut out for them.
Oh yeah, Steve, they're going to have their work cut out for them, and I'll just apologize on behalf of Jamie Hickey.
Oh, him too, huh?
Yeah.
One of the good things about losing so badly last night is I don't think the Tall Blacks are going to play like that 2 games in a row.
That's impressive. I mean, they lost by 30 last night. It's still impressive.
Well, I've got to say, Steve, Dylan Belcher, he wasn't up in the face of the Boomers tonight. He said to me at the airport this morning that, you know, he's going to do a good haka, but he's not going to be so confrontational, and hopefully that will rub off in a better performance by the Tall Blacks.
Well, one thing that's good about a real shellacking like they got, it really kind of checks your pride, and I'm sure that the Tall Blacks will answer to that challenge, and I'm sure that the Boomers are ready for that step up in the Tall Blacks performance. And like Brian Goorjian said before the game, he's expecting his team to improve on last night, so he's looking for another lopsided victory.
Yeah, well, it might be lopsided, but I think, you know, the Tall Blacks, I agree with Chris, the Tall Blacks will improve. There's no two ways about it. This is their second game of the year. We've said it before, we'll say it again. You know, the big picture is the Olympics. They will improve. By how much is the big question.
Game 2 here on 2 is underway, and the Boomers get first possession. Shane Heel, so impressive last night, will start their half-court set for the Boomers.
It's crucial that the Tall Blacks do a good job on him as a team defensively. One-on-one, he's so hard to stop, Steve. But, you know, as a team, they really have to keep an eye on Shane Heel, because he is a danger man with the ball, without the ball.
The Tall Blacks catch a break. Shane Heel just has a floater rim out. Cameron has Shane Heel on his back.
And that's a matchup and a half, isn't it?
But he's 20 feet away from the hoop. Book into Cameron. He's in a double team. He's got a mismatch on Shane Heel. Somehow tries to find his way to the hoop. Stripped by Matty Nielsen. We're starting to see the intensity of this game already. Pero Cameron on top of Matty Nielsen.
Well, you know, that really does show what's going to happen tonight, doesn't it, Steve? You know, Pero Cameron, he had nowhere to go inside, but then all of a sudden a loose ball, Matty Nielsen on the ground, and big PC all over him.
No love for Matty Nielsen with the alternating possessions. It goes to New Zealand.
Well, the Boomers, they've gone into this a 3-2 zone, which is new tonight.
Craig Bradshaw getting a start for the Tall Blacks tonight, number 14 there.
Saville, skip pass to Jason Smith. It looks good, is good.
Just so efficient, Steve.
Bradshaw, nice kick pass to the corner. Nothing but money. Three-point shot for Phil Jones.
The Reefton kid answers immediately, and, you know, that's important that he gets off nice and early.
Matty Nielsen with a strong screen on Mark Dickel. Gets the ball back from Shane Heel. Can't convert into a hoop. Dickel on the charge. Hits the trailer. Cameron, good pass over to Jones, and he has hit his first 2 shots. That's a good sign.
We like that. Back-to-back tries for Jonesy. That's what we like to see, Jeff Green.
Yeah, you know, Phil Jones, he had a quiet one. Even though he got a lot of points last night, it was quiet by Phil Jones standards. But, you know, he started off on fire tonight. And you're exactly right, Chris. Jonesy, we need a big one.
Normally when he starts out like that in the game, you know, he's unconscious. Let's hope Jonesy can carry that on, as he picked up a foul trying to guard Andrew Bogut.
Andrew Bogut caught the basketball, was clobbered, and shot the basketball at the same time, but the official said no, it wasn't in the act of shooting. Another 3-point shot, and then 4 for 4 by both teams outside the 3-point line.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things, that's twice now the Boomers have gone to the same side that the big young fella is on. Craig Bradshaw, and both times have hit the 3.
Good start for both clubs. Jones from deep. That didn't miss by much, but it does. Ball's out of bounds off Ed Book, and it'll go to the Boomers. Shane Heel brings it up. The captain for Australia. Bogut feeds it into Matty Nielsen. Good pass into Bogut. He goes for the jam, gets a squeak dunk.
That was squeaky, but it was 2 points. And, gee, this game has got some pace on it tonight, Steve.
Both teams executing a lot better than last night in the early stages. Ball goes off of Ed Book. He was pressured by Matty Nielsen. Australia's D causes a turnover. Boomers trying to capitalize on this turnover, not in the form of a fast break, but in a possession. Heel feeds it into Bogut. Shane Heel loses his footing. Bogut was about to have a little give and go with him. It goes out of bounds. Now it's New Zealand forced a turnover. Let's see if they can capitalize. Mark Dickel.
Start in there, guys.
To Cameron. Jones, he's got an open look. That's good.
Oh, Jonesy. Jonesy is on fire. And, oh, here we go. It's all on. Oh, and there's an intentional foul being called on Jason Smith by referee Jamie Hickey.
He's grabbed me by the center. What else am I supposed to do? You're right there. No, I wasn't right there, okay?
And here we go. Let's see if we can see it. Jonesy hits the three. And on the way back, oh, no. No, here we go.
Yeah, that's the biggest flop on earth.
Yeah, that was an acting job. Jonesy got a great foul, though. At the end of the day, you know, you've got to say to yourself, Steve, he milked the foul, and he got it.
Well, he gives him an intentional foul or unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
Come on, these guys are supposed to be experienced referees.
Right now with this. 2 shots.
Not now.
Shane. I see him sitting with the first one on the stick, right?
Well,
Shane is giving him an earful.
Oh, it's fireworks here. It's all on.
Two shots. Sorry?
yeah, the Tall Blacks aren't going to go away early tonight, Steve. They've decided to play.
Well, yeah, they have come to play. No doubt about that. Phil Jones shooting the basketball well. Hey, and you know what? Australia's got to put that away because they got hosed on that call, but they got to bounce back.
Oh, absolutely. And it's Shane Heel is still going.
You know what? You know, sometimes Shane Heel plays better when he's very angry. Very few players can do that, and let's keep an eye on number 11. He's got some motivation. He's got a little more bounce in his step right now. Let's watch the leader for Australia. New Zealand. Good penetration from Dickel. And Book responds with a jump shot.
And that's what Ed Book can do as a big man. He can hit the three. And, you know, the Tall Blacks are on fire right now. 60% from the three-point line.
Saville is off the mark. Bradshaw with a big rebound. Crowd's in it for the first time in 2 games, really. Jones from deep. Yes!
Jonesy, the boy from Reefton, is just on fire, and the Tall Blacks 16-8 lead.
He'll go for the answer. That's short. Bogut keeps it alive. Matty Nielsen gets it to Smith. Back. Good hustle by the Tall Blacks. Here they come. Dickel on the charge.
Hands out.
He'll set it up. Cameron spins. Nowhere to go. Matty Nielsen gets a piece of him. What a play by Pero Cameron.
It's all on tonight, Steve. Here in Christchurch, and big Pero Cameron. He wheeled and dealed. Here we go. Ed Book inside the big PC. He goes one way, comes back the other way. Nothing there. Just sweet basketball. And that's the sort of thing that the big fella showed us at the World Championships.
Well, the thing I like about the Tall Blacks tonight is attack. We're seeing that at both ends. Defensively, they're getting after it, and offensively, they're not taking a backward step. They're taking their shots in the flow of the offense. People like Jones are getting open, and, you know, I like the way they started this game.
Jason Smith for a tray. That's short. Saville comes up with the offensive rebound. He'll kick it to Heel. Australia looking for some composure. New Zealand have come out on fire. 67% from the field in the early stages. Heel. Late whistle. Very late whistle. That's on Mark Dickel. Matty Nielsen and Dickel with some words.
Oh, they are going at it in the corner there. You know, and what happened was, you know, Sparky Dickel just came off the screen and buried himself into Matty Nielsen. Here we go, right here. You watch it. Dude, he took Matty Nielsen out. Matty Nielsen stood up and just went over to him and just, you know, well, there's some feeling.
There's a bit of contact there. The referees, they've got to call one way or the other. You know, if they're not going to call anything, of course the players are going to get upset, and that's exactly what happened there. You know, referees is important in a game like this, that they keep on top of that sort of thing before it gets out of hand.
Just started. Yeah, give us a chance. The game has just started, all right?
I'm just listening to the officials trying to talk to the players. It's going to be a tough night for these guys to make consistent calls, because it's going to be contact on every possession. Mark Dickel tries to thread the needle.
You got the ball.
Cameron. Good quick move by the big fella. Somehow he gets to the hole.
Again, we see aggressive, taking it to the basket like that with Pero Cameron. That's what I like to see, and that's what's going to get the job done for the Tall Blacks.
Here we go, big PC once again. He challenged exactly what Chris Tupers just said, challenge the interior defense. That's what we were asking for last night, Steve. You know, that the Tall Blacks challenge the interior defense of the Australians and see whether they can make some substitutions. They've done that now. Young Bogut is out, and they had to bring in David Anderson.
I think you summed it up right there. They never really challenged him by going at him consistently on the offensive end in game one, and they've done just that. I mean, it helps when the shots go down, that's for sure, but you have a better chance at hitting shots when you have open looks, and that's created by aggressive play of going to the hole.
Well, the shooting percentages, you know, have just totally reversed from last night. You know, the Tall Blacks shooting 67% from both the field and the three-point line, and you know the Boomers are only shooting 33% right now.
Well, New Zealand's going to take it to them. They're the team that got humiliated last night, so they're going to step it up.
And Tad Baldwin told me before the game that he was going to put Paul Winnie-Tunner into the game early to go against Shane Heal, try and take him out of the game. But as he does that, someone else steps up, Glenn Saville.
Australia's loaded with talent, no doubt about that. And when you get players to play on both ends of the floor, Australia will keep the floor spread. They're a very well-drilled team. They're able to withstand those runs by opponents, and it's a great run by New Zealand, but Australia stays spread, dribble penetration, Saville out quicks Pero Cameron, and he goes to the hole. Three-point play.
And this is the sort of game you'd expect from Tall Blacks and Boomers games. You know, this is physical, it's hard, it's uncompromising, and it's good basketball.
And a lot more fun to call. Cameron, he traveled. See, but I personally don't mind those type of turnovers. They're aggressive turnovers. Last night, there were reactive turnovers, and a bunch of them.
And that's what we're talking about. As long as they're aggressive offensively, you don't mind those sort of turnovers. And you're exactly right, Stephen. You know, the Tall Blacks 21-11 right now, Toops, and it's pretty good to watch.
Well, it is, and for Brian Goorjian, this is the sort of game, competition that they need heading into the Olympics. A tight sort of game, you know, home crowd really behind this Tall Black team, and a team that started really well. This is exactly what he wants, putting his troops under a bit of pressure.
Hanadi with a good move to the basket, but good recovery by Shane Heal. So this is where New Zealand have to be very cautious that Australia's system just don't sneak back into the game, and they don't keep the same type of intensity and keep attacking the basket, because Australia, they're going to come at them.
And that's the quality of the Boomers, isn't it? They're going to come back at you all the time. You know, no matter how much of a lead you've got, they are going to get back into the game at some stage, no doubt about it.
Winatana with some good D. Unfortunately, it was on his own teammate, Hanari. Jones is off the mark this time. Saville. Hanari with some good D. Matty Nielsen spots up for three. That rims out. Jones with a rebound. Cameron Good feed into Jones. He's got a smaller heel on his back. D by Shane Heel. Jones will get it back. Uses the screen. Mismatch. Skip pass to Book. Can he hit it again? That's long. Good pass.
I think it was a good pass there from Ed Book, finding a wide open Pero Cameron.
One of the things, Steve, that really impressed me about the Australian team, though, is they're not fazed by the run by the Tall Blacks. You know, and we saw that in the second quarter last night, didn't we? You know, there was a run at Kane, and they sustained the pressure. You know, they soaked it up, and the same thing now.
Now we're starting to see some substitutes for Australia. Let's see if the second group here can step it up and cut into this lead by the Tall Blacks. New Zealand trying to level the series here in Christchurch. Aaron Olsen's into the game for the Tall Blacks. Hanari gets a bump from Saville. This game's physical,
Isn't it? And Australia have gone to a zone defense.
He was standing there, Paul. He's standing there. The defense
Try and mix it up a little bit.
even though it's physical. I think it's settled down. It was a little hectic there physically, and I think it's settled down a bit. We're going to see a little bit more basketball.
Yeah, just a bit of touchy-feely stuff to sort each other out, and now we're into real basketball.
Saville with a leaner. Boy, he's tough.
With that leaner of his, isn't it? He gets into the lane and extends those arms out, and just a nice look. And anyone that he beats behind him has just got no show.
Skip pass to Aaron Olsen.
On the arm.
Winatana sneaks up behind Saville and gets the loose rebound. Loose ball foul, I mean.
We talked a bit before game about the strength of the Australian team. Shane Hill, we saw he was on fire last night, but they have a number of other players who can just flat out fill it up. Saville's one of them. Jason Smith's another. Brett Maher. So they have a bunch of scorers. So, even if Shane isn't hitting, they've got so many other options to bring them back into this game. So Australia, they are dangerous, even though they are down a little bit in this first quarter.
That's a good thing, too. I think it's important that we point out the fact that if all those guys are firing, Shane doesn't even really need to shoot the basketball, and I think that's where he's matured so much in his career. He can be effective as a leader, as a passer, and not just a shooter.
And you can see that in the early scoring for the Boomers. Saville on 9 points already. Smith on 3. Shane Hill's gone to the bench with 0 points. But, you're exactly right. And then we've got John Riley, who can shoot the ball like we know come back into the game.
Book. He looks a little bit more confident with a couple of made shots early in the basketball game. Bradshaw to Hanari. Dylan Boucher goes to the hole strong. He pops it loose.
That's right.
Some of the best hands in the business, keeps that alive for the Tall Blacks.
That's the other thing Tad Baldwin said to me tonight, that they want to be aggressive on the boards, not only control their own defense boards, which they didn't last night, but get onto the offensive glass as well.
Boucher, Bradshaw, Aaron Olsen tries to turn the corner on Marr, can't do it. Bradshaw over to Aaron Olsen for a spot-up three. Yes.
Well, he is probably the standout spot-up shooter in our National League this year that we've just finished. Of course, won a championship with Auckland. Continuing that form into the Tall Black singlet there for Aaron Olsen.
Saville to Ronaldson, loses the handle. Shot clock winding down. Brent Maher goes to the baseline. Kicks it to Ronaldson to C.J. Bruton for the three. That's long. Saville tries to keep it loose, but it's not. It's pulled down by Boucher. Hanari. Shot clock well within the game clock. They're going to have to get it off. Olsen goes to the hole. It's rejected. Stray's got plenty of time. C.J. Bruton on the run. He's fouled, but he'll go to the line for two.
Oh, and that was a bad foul by Paul Henare right there.
White 7.
All of a sudden, the clock had wound down. It's gone off. for the half, and he fouled and put C.J. Bruton onto the... Sorry, that was the shot clock that went off inadvertently. But C.J. Bruton goes to the hole. He pulls the foul. Tab will not be happy with that foul at this juncture of the game. And C.J. Bruton, he's pretty hot from the free throw line, Steve.
I think that's a good point. I think C.J. maybe surprised him with that much time on the clock going to the hole. You would think he'd just wait for one. If he could have held off a little bit, he would have made him shoot a tough shot. Instead, C.J. goes to the line, and he's a very good free throw shooter, and they just cut into that lead a little bit more. Rampton. Boy, that was ugly.
You can't describe it any more than that, Steve. I thought that was a...
Say what you mean, Steve.
Man, some big guys
Here we go.
need to make moves down on the block. Look at that. Boy, that was ugly.
But poor old Brett Maher got hammered down low with the inadvertent elbow, but you're right. It wasn't pretty.
Look for a catch and shoot here.
Aaron Olsen bags another three. Big shot for the Tall Blacks. Excellent shooting by Aaron Olsen as the Tall Blacks take a lead here after the first quarter of the Jeep International Series. It's New Zealand 29, Australia 18. Game 2 here on 2. Well, 29 points for the Tall Blacks here against the Boomers in Game 2, and largely because of this man right here. The action man is Phil Jones, and he's been bombing away outside the three-point line. Or the land of plenty. Look at that. Boom, baby. 2 times. And Phil Jones heating it up for the Tall Blacks here in Game 2. Boy, this is much better, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. It's a lot easier to commentate a game when it's... and there we go. Phil Jones is really on fire. And, not only offensively, they got into the Boomers defensively as well. Upset the Boomers rhythm, and all of a sudden, it was all on.
Australia with C.J. Bruton at the helm against this 2-3 zone has caused a lot of teams some trouble in international ball. Brett Maher is off the mark. That was always going left. Good stance there for New Zealand. Dylan Boucher back to Hanade. Boucher, skip pass. Aaron Olsen can't handle it. So an average shot and a turnover by the Tall Blacks. Not a good start for either of these ball clubs.
Now the Tall Blacks gone to a 3-2 zone. So mixing up their defense.
Much more of a cohesive unit on defense as well as offense, I think, tonight.
Catalini just throws it to no one.
I think he was trying to pass it to Shane Heal on the bench. Poor old Martin Catalini, I don't know what he's looking at. One of the things, there we go, gorgeous. One of the things, I was talking to Brendan Joyce, the assistant coach of the Boomers, before the game. And I said to him, the 3-2 zone sort of upset the Boomers a little. And he said, well, one of the things that we're happy with is that we have the shooters to bust open the zone. Right now, they haven't got them. But you know and I know, Steve, those shooters can come alive any time.
They sure can. I think what New Zealand has done very well with mixing up those defenses has taken Australia out of their rhythm. Now they knock down shots, but this is a different New Zealand team tonight. They're playing everything with a lot more passion. They're getting out from their closeouts a lot better than they were last night.
We see just, going back to that last shot that Brett Maher had, Paul Hanade had a great hand up in the shot there, and that's the sort of defense. Those are the little changes, just getting that step closer to the shooter to put them off. Last night, like you were saying, they had wide open looks, and against Australia, they're going to knock those ones down.
5 seconds.
Against, and especially in preparation for Athens, those teams from Europe, they need a lot fewer, a lot less time and space to knock down an open shot. So it's a good habit to get into to get up and in.
Well, there was a call by referee Jamie Hickey that you don't see very often in international basketball. That's a 5-second call on the inbounds pass.
Super pass by Brett Maher into David Anderson. And what you have to be careful of there is Brett Maher's a great shooter. Usually he'd be thinking rebound and just turn his head with good communication. Hanari. Good hands by Brett Maher. The ball goes out of bounds. C.J. Bruton goes down.
You know, the other adjustment that the Tall Blacks have made tonight is the fact they've gone a bit bigger. Now we see Paul Henare go into the lane, bumps C.J. Bruton out of the way, and Brett Maher gets his hander. But they've gone a bit bigger. You know, they've kept a couple of big guys on the whole time.
Great little trademark spin reverse layup from Boucher. He's on the board tonight.
Australia struggling with this 3-2 zone. Brett Maher with a good shake. Tries to get to the hole. Ronaldson with a layup that misses the mark. Anderson is fouled. He'll go to the line.
Well, Bradshaw almost had his fingertips on that rebound, just couldn't quite hold on to it. Brett Maher now making a mess of the middle of that zone. They're going to plug that hole up down the middle of the keyhole there. Twice now, Brett Maher's just waltzed on in there. I'm sure Tab Baldwin's going to have a talk about that.
Well, if there's one thing that you got to do in a zone is contain off the dribble, because if you're getting out to shooters and they dribble penetrate, get the ball into the key, you're in a world of hurt once they dribble penetrate and can find those guys on the block.
And that's exactly what Brett Maher did. He found Ronaldson. Ronaldson missed the easy layup, and then all of a sudden Anderson was there for the offensive putback, got fouled, and you know, and that's the key, as you say, a lot of penetration.
Also a big difference from last night is that Ronaldson with a layup, but a lot of defensive pursuit makes him miss it.
Well, Christopher Ray for the Tall Blacks, this is his first test, so you know, he's made his debut, and against the old foe, the Boomers.
Yeah, this is like a baptism, because this is an intense game that means a whole lot. Book, good move down the baseline.
Oh, he just broke David Anderson down. Well, he might have slipped a little bit, but...
And regardless, he's going to be made fun of at the film session tomorrow. Or should I say tonight. Catalini from deep, yes.
Well, he's another one that we didn't mention before, but just pretty much everyone on that Australian team can shoot the three or is a threat from outside, so...
Book, who's had a very impressive game early here for the Tall Blacks. He shoots a three again. He's good. Remember, his last three was an air ball.
And, you know, Ed Book's the sort of player, you know, there's two types of Ed Books that are going to turn up to a game. Last night's Ed Book, he turned up, and that wasn't very good. Tonight, he's turned up, and it's been great.
Skip pass to Hammer, who doesn't have any points yet. That rattles out. Hanari, no numbers. Skips it to Phil Jones. He's been hot. He's off this time. Hectic pace. Brett Maher, he's got numbers. Heel to Cat. Ronaldson, 17-footer. Bang.
Yeah, and Tony Ronaldson hurt the Tall Blacks last year in the series. And, you know, he's had a quiet one so far, but, you know, nails that one.
Book. Catalini all over him. Boucher. Tony Ronaldson, very underrated defender. Makes Boucher shoot a tough shot, and it goes down.
Oh, Dylan Boucher. Yeah, count that one, he says, as he runs back.
Skip to Cat to heel. Maher, quick passing by the Australian Boomers. Catalini for three. Oh. Nothing but string music.
Oh, nothing but.
Well, with Australia now making the adjustment against the zone, making the extra pass, keeping the court spread, and they've brought in another shooter. They got Maher, Catalini, and Shane Hill.
Great point, but the Tall Blacks respond with a Hanari three.
Well, Paulie Henare, you know, look at the score, 41 points to 28. Tall Blacks only scored 60 last night. So, you know, they're only 19 away from the whole of game one total.
Close out. Brett Maher finds Tony Ronaldson. Strike keeps it alive. Maher with a three, or should I say, well, normally that's a layup for him, but he misses the mark. Zealand, impressive in his first half of ball. Terrible move. Shane Heel behind the back to Cat. Dylan Boucher with a good foul.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? You know, young Christopher Ray, baptism of fire against the old foe, the Boomers. All of a sudden comes in, second touch of the ball, he turns it over, and down the other end, the Boomers just go.
And here in the second quarter, it's the Tall Blacks from New Zealand, 41, Australia 28. Game 2 right here on 2.
Well, you know, we're back here, and let's listen to Tab Baldwin and see whether we can see some of the adjustments now that he needs to make.
Here, our defense looks like this. We get sucked way in, and they're here. But that, we need to stay wider, okay? Not that wide, but, you know, stay wider, so your closeouts aren't so far. I'm trying to move from here to here, and then skipping it across. It's okay, because we come up from the back on that, because we're here. Come up from the back, okay? Now let's go 5, all right? Let's go 5. But we must rebound the ball. Just give me what you got, and I get you out, okay? Give me what you got. You got heel. Okay?
Well, one of the interesting things there, Steve Carpino, that I got from Tad Baldwin is the fact they're going to stay with that zone, but because Australia's made the adjustment at passing that extra pass around the zone and trying to get a skip pass going, you know, he wants people to stay wider, not too wide, but not to collapse in, because, you know, the defense has been collapsing in, and that's been able to give the Boomers open three-point shots.
Martin Catalini goes to the line for the Australian Boomers. And Australia have hit some shots and made a run, but New Zealand have answered on the other end of the floor. And I think that's the question you're always going to ask in this series. Can New Zealand match the scoring power of Australia?
Well, already they're almost up to their third quarter total at 47 at the end of the third quarter last night. They're already sitting on 41 right now.
Winatana to Book to Dickel. Back to Book. Yes.
He's feeling it, the big fella. Ed Book. He brought his A game tonight, fellas.
Well, from the tip, he has just looked to catch and shoot. No hesitation. Andrew Bogut.
Andrew Bogut from last night, he just showed it, you know, why he's going to be a star.
Lead is still 11 to the Tall Blacks. Been taking it to Australia. Book again with a mid-range jump shot.
You know, Ed Book, 12 points already in the ball game, and he really has stepped up offensively.
Bogut turns the corner. Tough shot. Winatana pulls down the rebound. Dickel.
His guys going everywhere. It's a nice skating rink.
Quick ball reversal by New Zealand. There's a wet spot on the floor, and boy, you sure don't want that. And the referees get right on it.
Sorry?
Well, with the amount of players going all over the place, Steve, you've got to think to yourself that you know, it's a nice hockey game. You know, guys are flying everywhere. The only thing we don't have is boards on the side for the big hits.
And look at that, 2 players already for the Tall Blacks in double figures. And much more aggressive at getting the basketball out on the break and finding open players, as you see Dickel with 4 assists already. And Hanade and Bradshaw with 4 as well between the 2. Rebounds very close in the tops of those departments.
You've got to be happy with young Bradshaw. He's put out a couple of assists, 2 rebounds, you know, second test, doing well.
Dickel. Jones is a priority to get closed out on. Bogut pulls down the rebound. Jason Smith catches the skip. Heel. He wants a high screen. Nice shake. Oh, looks off the D. Shane Heel short on the floater. Dickel.
The Tall Blacks are out and running. This is good.
Book to win a time. Book on the offensive glass. That'll count.
And then the foul, I think it was on Matty Nielsen. And he looks in bewilderment. Here we go. Book goes down the lane. Dishes off to Winnie Tanner. He misses the Book there for the putback, and ooh, Matty Nielsen, look at the bewilderment.
He had a left hand in his back. It wasn't a ghost foul. His left hand was in his back.
But you know, one of the things that annoys me about those type of calls that are called, Steve, you know, it didn't alter the shot. It didn't alter the look of the game. So why call it? I don't know.
He didn't move a long way forward, man.
I think the big thing is, in a very physical game like that, you can't really call that. I mean, because there's contact on every shot down low. There's contact on every rebound. And you got to be as consistent as you can. And on something as soft as that, I think it'd be hard to call it in a game like this.
Troy McLean's checked in for the Tall Blacks in his debut.
Good hands by the Tall Blacks. I'm not sure who got it. Matty Nielsen was coming through there strong, had it ripped. 16-point lead for the Tall Blacks.
24. Hey!
See who that fouls on.
No, it's the 24 shot clock didn't start.
Sorry?
So a technical problem.
Put it on 15. Put it on 15. Sorry?
What's that?
No, put it down to 15. Down to 15. They brought it up over 4 over half.
McLean, when we talk about another baptism, he's trying to guard Shane Heel.
15 on the
Good
clock,
luck.
15.
He got switched up on him. Mark Dickel normally will pick up Shane Heel, but his first time down defensively, he had the hammer. And the hammer will try and exploit a younger player. Jones with a tough pull-up. Nielsen comes down with the board. Heel in a semi-break. Jason Smith. Mark Dickel with some quick hands, knocks it out of bounds.
Great defensive intensity from the Tall Blacks. Then you face man-to-man.
Shane Heel, an aggressive step out by Pero Cameron. Heel goes by McLean. Matty Nielsen finds the open area, and Shane Heel finds him. Shane Heel once again delivers the bullet.
Well, he's a class act. He doesn't, you know, off the dribble, he's such a good assist player.
Dickel.
Shane Heel hasn't scored, but you know, he's pushed out a couple of assists now, showing his value, all-round value for this Boomer team.
Heel. Step back. That's good. That's automatic. Shane Heel senses his team needs as a boost, gets an assist, and then a jumper. Tall Blacks still with a 12-point lead. This is a big possession for them. Book. Saville knocks it loose. Book gets it back. Dickel. Shot clock. Down to 5. Finds McLean. That rims out. He's fouled by Matty Nielsen. He'll go to the line for 3 shots.
You know, and someone of the caliber of Matty Nielsen fouling on the 3-point line. You know, that is... Georgian is not going to be a happy camper.
No, he wasn't happy with that one.
Here we go. Sparky Dickel gets in deep. Troy McLean, that shot had gone as well.
No doubt about that one. I mean, he shouldn't be fouling a guy that hasn't hit a shot either. And I'm sure he's a good player, but this is a tough game to get into the rhythm of when you're a young fella.
Well, you know, he spent the ANBL over in your hometown in Wollongong with the Hawks. Young Troy McLean, so he was able to get the experience of Brendan Joyce, the assistant coach of the Boomers.
And I'm telling you what, this is different. This wears on your nerves a little bit more. These games have a lot of emotion. You know, you're trying to get to Athens. I bet he hasn't missed 2 free throws in a row in a long time. And he calms down on the 3rd one, knocks it down.
Well, just after that, he takes there he is. Troy McLean takes a trip to the bench.
Got a nice looking stroke. Heel. He's fouled. You know,
that's right.
We'll check out the foul situation. Not a bad one, really, because Shane Heel doesn't go to the line. You reach, you get it. You get a turnover, that's a bonus. You get a foul, nobody hurt. Shane, he's looking for a three. Good hands by Cameron. Finds Jones. Thought about the step back. Saddles on the back of Phil Jones. This isn't the end to the half that either team wants.
Of course, and because Glenn Selwell, he got caught down low with Boucher backing him down and came over the back. It's not a hard call for any referee to call that one. And but, you know, the Boomers haven't made an inroads at all. You know, that's the surprising thing right now.
Jones has the ball stripped by Shane Heel. Shane will take some time off the clock. Shane Heel. Crosses over. Saville. Back to Heel. Deep from the corner. That's good. Shane Heel, all class. Boucher runs out of room and runs out of time at the end of halftime. It's the Australian Boomers sneaking back into this game somewhat, but it's the Tall Blacks with the lead, 49-38 over Australia here in Christchurch. On the sideline is Chris. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Brendan, a much better start for the Tall Blacks tonight. What did you guys talk about?
Tab told us to focus on our defensive rotations was a big thing. Getting to their shooters, you know, they shot the ball really well in the first game. So, you know, getting our rotations right, getting out to them and shutting them down. Then offensively, you know, getting some of our main guys off to good starts, you know, being really aggressive and come out firing. And they've done a great job tonight. You know, guys like Phil, Pero, you know, really came to play tonight. It's good to see.
And defensively, you guys look like you've just stepped it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we want to be really aggressive and really get moving. You know, our defense, you know, we want to be down in the stance and ready to guard, and we're doing a much better job of that tonight.
Well, I hope they can keep that stuff going, Brendan. Good luck for the second half, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, once again, the score here at halftime, the Tall Blacks 49, Australia 38. We'll be back with more second half action right after the break. And welcome back here in Christchurch. It's game 2, the international series between the Tall Blacks of New Zealand and the Australian Boomers. And let's check out the first half action. Nelly on a nice pass from Shane Heel for the Australian Boomers, and it looked like they were going to pick up where they left off last night, but Pero Cameron and the Tall Blacks had something to say to that. Aaron Olsen checked into the game, and he got his spot-up shooting going, big three, and then in the second quarter, Dylan Boucher made that reverse layup look easy, and then it was Book. Nice spin move. Look at that. Woo, boy, they're going to be making fun of him, like I said, watching those films. And then it's Tony Ronaldson with the mid-range jump shot. Bingo. And those are the highlights there in the first quarter. But the man who got all the stuff done for the Tall Blacks is that man right there, Ed Book. He is our action man. And as I mentioned, he has stepped it up from the outside and the inside. Good pass, but nice spot-up shot. He's looking to catch the basketball and do something with it tonight. On both ends of the floor, and especially with passes and receiving the basketball back outside, inside, Ed Book is the action man tonight. Australia let's see what type of adjustments they have. That's the beauty of watching Brian Goorjian and the Australian Boomers. Sometimes it's a lot of fun watching them down and coming back. Let's check out the top scorers here outside the three-point line. Look at that, three-point shooters. And the assist man right there, Dickel, leads the way for the Tall Blacks, as well as Shane Heel, who has 2 for the Australian Boomers. Rebounds, pretty spread for both teams. Farrell Cameron leads it for the Tall Blacks with 3. Matty Nielsen, Big Nelly with 4 for the Boomers. Shane Heel looking to assist more than he's looking to score. Just 2 for 7. Had a couple of runners, rim in and out. One of them just rolled off the rim. His game still looks switched on, but he's very dangerous when Australia need him to do something.
Well, one of the things I've managed to slip into the Tall Blacks locker room at halftime, Steve, and one of the things that Tad Baldwin told the team, we need to cut down the drive of Shane Heel and stop that penetration. He was unhappy with that in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the first half.
Nielsen with a pull-up shot going left. Saville keeps it alive. But Mark Dickel, good pass to Boucher. That's thrown out by Matty Nielsen. Boomers in transition. Saville back to Heel. Australia spread wide. Saville. Cameron with a good check. Nielsen drives baseline. Somehow gets a shot up. Very awkward looking shot. Good defense by the Tall Blacks. Dickel. The team can register a score. That's a very average pass. Dickel just looking at Farrell Cameron like, what happened?
Tell me, Steve, what does Brian Goorjian and the Boomers have to do this half? You know, one, to get back this lead, you know, back to something decent, and, you know, to execute. What do they need to do?
I think they got a little rattled by how physical the Tall Blacks were early in the basketball game, and if they just settle down and make their defenses as disruptive as they did in the second half of the first game, they could be looking at a pretty good position. And they got to hit shots, not like that one. Jones to Dickel. Jason Smith makes it tough for him. There's a foul after he released it. A bit of a late call.
Well, he's pretty athletic, Jason Smith. I'd be interested to see this replay. Sparky Dickel just getting out and running the lane like we know he can. Out in the open court here. Looks like he just got him on the back of the head, I thought. Fair enough. Sparky Dickel goes to the line. I thought Mark played well in that first half. He was a good leader, and those early assists that he had were giving the ball to Phil Jones at the right time. We know Sparky can dish it up. He's got to do more of the same. The Tall Blacks are going to continue this into the second half.
Well, you can never fault his effort out on the floor. He plays extremely hard. He gets 1 out of 2 of those free throws. We got ourselves a 12-point ball game. Tall Blacks up 50-38. Just over 8.5 here in the third. Saville. Smith. Heel finds Nielsen. He's fouled. The body by Ed Book.
13, hands, 2. Keep the elbows in. On the arm.
Ed Book, you can see his expression. He's not real happy with that one.
He's not impressed with that call, but, you know, the last couple of times down the court, the Boomers have looked out of sync right now, Steve. You know, and you know they've had a couple of ugly shots. You know, not in rhythm like they have been. And you know, give credit to the Tall Black defense.
Exactly. New Zealand have made some adjustments of their own. We talk about Australia with Brian Goorjian making some adjustments. So have New Zealand, and they're looking to keep the intensity or even raise it a couple of notches here in the third quarter. Well, their pride was challenged last night, and they have responded, no doubt. Good feed into Book. What can he do? He's been tough tonight. Spins to the baseline. Jump hook is money.
Anything that Ed Booker's touched tonight, Chris Tupu, has been money.
Playing with all kind of poise and time down there against Bogut, who's no bum defensively.
Well, he gives them that option in the post, that inside-outside action. Jonesy firing the three. Bit of action inside with Book, and it's just what the doctor ordered.
Well, both teams shooting at 50% from the field at halftime. Much more efficient game from both of these teams, really, and a much better contest. Nielsen with a spin to the baseline. Tough shot. He's pulled down by Boucher. Jones. Cameron back to Jones. He's going to line one up from deep. Long rebound goes to Shane Heel. Good pass to Bogut.
And that's the first time we've seen the big fella run tonight. You know, the Tall Black defense has extended up the court. They've stopped the Boomers' running game. And that's the first layup that Bogut has got tonight. Last night, he had a couple of slam dunks.
First mental error defensively on the break from the Tall Blacks. Strong move by Pero Cameron.
And there we go. A couple of legends of New Zealand sport. Jeff Wilson, Goldie, All Black, and Ardeen Harper. Netballer from the Silver Ferns.
Saville for three. That's short. Boucher with another rebound.
Last night, those shots were dropping for Australia. Not tonight.
Dickel on the charge. It's to the rim. Can't get it over the top of it. Great drive.
He is so quick. Sparky Dickel. Explosive off his first step. Wheeled and dealed Shane Heel out high here. Gets deep into the lane there. They're calling 2 shots here for Sparky.
See, I'm going to be harsh. He should have made that.
Yeah, when you get that close to the hole after doing all that sort of work, Steve, you're absolutely right. Sparky will be very disappointed with himself. And, you know, he walked away knowing that that should have been a 3-point play.
And wasn't that a great hesitation move? Oh, he just stood Shane up momentarily, crossed it over. And you don't see many crossover moves better than that. That's world class. And the Tall Blacks just doing everything they have to keep this double-figure lead. Now it's at 14. D's been outstanding. Bogut looks to feed. He finds Heel. Good pass into Ronaldson. Cameron not only deflected it, almost kept it alive.
And there you go, you know, big PC, Pero Cameron leading from the front. The Tall Black captain on the floor. And that's where we see on the replay. Hammer goes down low, try to get the pass to Ronaldson. Big PC all over the floor. You know, and that's the sort of commitment the Tall Blacks have shown tonight, Steve.
It's, you know, and it's not much. You know, basketball isn't brain surgery. Like we said, they believe in their stuff. That's a good pass. Last night would have been converted for a layup, but they're not giving up on plays. They're seeing every play through on both ends of the floor and getting those type of deflections. Bogut, great pass. Nice dunk by Jace. Oh, no, wrong one.
Saville.
Glenn Saville.
Glenn Saville. Sav came, but credit the pass by young Andrew Bogut. What a great pass from the big fella.
Saville going up with the left hand there.
He is no joke.
Oh, he's so athletic. PC lets a 3 go.
Bogut pulls down the rebound. That's got to be a foul on Boucher. Right into the back of Jason Smith's legs. And he is all effort. He is one of those guys that makes something out of nothing, because he was nowhere near that. He pops it loose. That's a little overzealous. He had a couple of waving to Jason Smith, make sure he's all right, because that's one of the bad things in basketball, is to slam into the back of somebody's legs, and he had a quick apology for that.
Now, Steve, I'm going to ask you, in the old days, in the Australia of the old days, it was Gaze that brought the team back. Who is it this time? Is it Heel? Is Heel the danger man for the Tall Blacks?
Heel is the danger man. He may not do it with the shooting, but he's gonna lead their offense. He'll do it with penetration. He'll do it with poise.
know, Andrew Bogut just set a great pick on Sparky Dickel. Sparky Dickel jumped up and looked around and said, what the?
And he's susceptible to those type of picks because he's so in your face defensively, he can't see a pick coming.
Well, the big guys need to call those screens for Sparky Dickel.
Ronaldson with a jump hook. Oh, no. That's
the net.
Oh, he touched the net.
He touched the net. No, it hadn't left. It hadn't left.
Basket interference is the call. And you heard the officials ruling on that. He grabbed the net as it was still on the rim, and that's illegal.
Let go.
10-point ball game here in Christchurch.
Boucher goes baseline. Good pass to Book. That's good defense. This is very physical, but that was a good block shot.
We've said it all series long that this is physical, but gee, these boys have just upped it in the third quarter. Both teams, the Boomers have really come to play in this third quarter. But the lead is still 10, Steve.
Exactly. Jones with a tough fadeaway from the baseline. Moody!
He was fading all the way back to the west coast with that one. Drains yet another jumper. Jones now with 15 for the game.
Ed Book hanging on to Andrew Bogut. Tab Baldwin trying to get a little love from the officials. He knows Australia's coming, but they, as in the Tall Blacks, are doing a fantastic job tonight.
Yeah.
Keeping their composure when Australia cranks up the intensity.
Like all good coaches, you've got to work the referees. Work the referees, that's the key.
Some coaches more than others, right, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shane Hill with a runner. That's good. Hammer time.
Well, he's the danger man. You just know that he's going to come out and he's going to try and bust this game, back for the Australians or get them back in the game.
Well, they need him. Struggling a little bit to get consistent points. Dickel for three. That's long. Saville with a rebound. He can put it on the floor and go coast to coast. Smitty with a three. He loses it. Slips out of his hands. Jones turns the corner. Cameron. Nowhere to go. He's fouled. Let's see who it is. It's either Tony Ronaldson or that's Saville.
Well, it's been interesting, isn't it? It's just been a great match, and here we go. We see it. Phil Jones brings it down on the break, goes down the lane, gives it off to PC. It's Glenn Sav all over him. But gee, it's been a chess match, up and down. But I still say it again, it's still a 10-point lead.
New Zealand.
No, too low. 13 block. This way.
Right up in arms on that one. Bogut anticipating that's where he was going to go.
And here we go on the replay, the out-of-bounds play. Andrew Bogut anticipates Jonesy coming back up. Oh. Good defensive play.
Toughest playing basketball to call for the officials. Jones goes to turn the corner. Saville. No argument from him on that one. Gets a piece of his arm.
Well, the Tall Blacks continue to attack the rim. And Australia just hanging in there, but still struggling to contain the aggressive play of the Kiwis. They haven't really put a dent in the 10-point lead.
With all that aggressive play, Chris, exactly. They've got the Boomers in a little bit of foul trouble right now. Saville, Nielsen, they're on three. Bogut and Smith have got a couple each. So, that tactic has worked, and we asked for that last night, didn't we? And now the Tall Blacks have responded.
Well, Brian, in the early stages of this series, that's a dunk by Bogut. In the early stage from heel, of course, have had to go to zone because they've had trouble containing the aggressive Kiwis off the dribble. Now, when the Tall Blacks go away from that, they're a lot easier to defend. But tonight, they've stuck with it. Great pass. Winatana gets the finish.
finesse pass there. Pero right on the money with that pass to Winitana.
Saville. Heel. He's got not an open look. He's fouled by Hinati.
Well, that's probably one person you don't want to foul is Shane Heel from the three-point line.
It's a tough one because he can get a three off with extreme pressure and still knock it down. So it's a tough call.
Let's go, guys.
I know it's a lot easier to make that call from the sideline over here, but when he buries a couple of threes over your outstretched hand, you're thinking you got to do a little bit more.
2 shots. Let's go.
Well, the first time in a long time, Steve, the Boomers have now got the lead under 10. And, you know, we know that the Boomers were going to come back with some intensity, led by this man on screen, Shane Heel.
You know, and you asked me, Chris, who's the danger man? And when you asked me that, I said Hammer. He's had a runner off the glass. He's had an assist to Bogut. And then he gets 3 free throws. There are just certain guys that want the ball when the game's on the line, and he's one of them.
Definitely, he is one of them. He's not going to go hiding as Shane Heel. Constantly looking at the scoreboard.
Send.
Just trying to trim this lead off. But the Tall Blacks have had the answers all night, just as they do right there, Winitana.
And there's an answer. Polder Winitana nails the jumper. He's played aggressively defensively, and you know he came out early to shoot some jumpers early in the day. So yeah, that's paid off for him.
Hammer with a tough shot. Oh
my goodness, Shane Heel. That is why that man is one of the international premier players.
That was beautiful. Book with a brick. Here come the Boomers.
Heel's a danger man.
Heel turning the corner. He'll go to the free throw line for 2 more.
One of the things, I mean, as an athlete, he is so confident, Shane Heel. Never down and out. Continues to just do his stuff under control. He's a class act.
Well, the great ones, and we have had the pleasure of Andrew Gaze over so many Olympics, sensing when his team needs a bucket, sensing the backbreaker shots, and those guys deliver so often.
Well, here we go, and the Boomers are on their way back. They're down 5 now. It's getting real physical down low, and Tony Rampton, that was a silly foul. Fighting down low with Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, no, I watched that, but he just brought the elbow up.
Shane Heel. Hammer will be looking to launch when they got Brett Maher out there, who's also a tremendous shooter. Step back by Brett Maher is off the mark. Ronaldson tips it out to Winitana. They got Hinari on a skip. They missed him. Book. That'll go. You can hear Brian Gorgon telling him, don't foul.
Don't foul. And why would you want to foul Tony Rampton down low? Because, like, you know, he's a banger. He gets the ball here, down deep down low, and he's got to come all the way back into the keyhole and just fouls. So, you know, and we heard Gorgon yell out, don't foul. He gets the 2 points, you know. It's easier just to let... Tony Rampton isn't going to beat you that close to the basket.
Yeah, but he made a good move. He went at his body, and he got the call.
The Boomers now, the big guys in a bit of foul trouble. Saville, Bogut, and Nielsen all sitting on 3 fouls. Just Paul Hinati for 3 as that man again, Shane Heel, with a huge 3-pointer from the top of the key. 66-61 now.
Well, you know, Heel had 3 points at the half. He's now got 17.
Bogut pulls down the board. Gives it to Shane Heel, and why wouldn't you? Heel with a great pass to Ronaldson with a seal. Skip, reverse, another reverse, triple reverse. Brett Maher, bang!
Here come the Aussies. The Boomers are on their way back, and it's good team basketball that we saw last night, Steve. You know, just constant free, getting the free man open for the easy shot. And here we go. The defense has stepped up for another Boomer break.
Shane Heel takes it all the way, and I thought New Zealand needed a timeout before that possession.
It's tied ball game now, 66 all.
They'll get substitutions. I think Australia thinks it's a timeout when it's not.
Stop here. Stop.
Subs for both teams.
What a comeback from the Aussies. You sort of sense that they were never out of the game. But Hill just inspirational in bringing this Boomers side back to level pegging with the Tall Blacks.
Shane Heel, 15 third quarter points.
Winatana makes a strong move. Oh! Foul on Martin Catalini. That's a very aggressive move by Winatana.
Here we go. Winatana gets the ball inside the keyhole, wheeled and deal, but from that angle, Steve, we can't see it. And you know, maybe the cat's got something to complain about there.
I do. I'll make a few more.
But you don't ever get those calls when you're not aggressive. He made a strong move to the basket, and he gets a call. You don't get them if you don't make those moves. And that's the game of basketball. Sometimes you got to put the officials in a 50-50 situation by being aggressive.
And there's the Tall Blacks are aggressive right there. Get an offensive rebound off the free throw.
Craig Bradshaw getting a hand to that one, keeping it alive for the Tall Blacks. They'll look for just one shot here. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Right there. Got me spectating. That was a lot of action happening. What a quarter for the Australian Boomers as they not only sneak back into the game, they tied up 66 all in game 2 of the Jeep International Series. Here in the third quarter. We'll be right back. And we got all kind of action here in Christchurch, game 2 of the Jeep International Series. And the action man is, you guessed it, the hammer, Shane Heel. Step back, bang. He's doing it all with a pass, with the score, with the floaters. Tough baseline shot, that rattles in. But we got more hammer for you because that was the toughest shot of the game, and that was nothing but money. I tell you what, I could watch highlights of him all night long.
I've got to say to you, Steve, you know, it's absolutely brilliant. And as we said, everyone in the gym, everyone in the country, everyone in Australia knew to come back, the Boomers to come back, it was going to be on the back of Shane Heel. And, you know, our action man, he showed it.
Let's see how, you know, we've talked about how Australia was going to respond to how the Tall Blacks have been playing so well. That's the first real damaging run that Australia has had. Let's see how the Tall Blacks respond.
Well, it was a 28-17 third quarter run for the Boomers. They just blew that lead right out of the water.
Top scorers for both of these clubs. Book, he's having a night. 17. Shane Heel on fire there with 15 in the third quarter for 19 points. And he's been supported by Glenn Saville. Boy, this has been, and both clubs have played extremely well. Of course, that run by Australia, getting them back into the game, was impressive. But both teams have given us something to watch tonight. There's the money man. It is money time here in the fourth quarter.
And expect to see a lot more from him in this quarter. Tall Blacks, they've got to get somebody to try and contain him. And, you know, like we talked a little bit in that first quarter, he was contained by good team defense. I don't think one guy is going to stop Shane Heel. They need good, solid team defense.
That's a good point. You know, sometimes you have to say, look, if we weren't playing him that tough in the first 2 quarters, he may have 30 right now. So you got to give yourself some credit for slowing a great player down, because you're never going to stop him completely. Hanari. Bradshaw, he goes up nice and strong. I like this young kid.
Craig Bradshaw. But, credit that to Paul Henare. He slipped his man defensively. Here we go down the lane. He slipped his man, Glenn Saville. Matty Nielsen came across to help. And, the nice bounce pass into the big fella. And, Matty Nielsen had no option but to foul.
The guard drop was a little late, but this kid does a good job of getting to the open area. He's got the angles of the court. He's very conscious of that. We saw that in game 1 in his limited minutes, and he shows it on that play, too. Bradshaw bangs 1 of 2. And that gives the Tall Blacks a 1-point lead.
I know you like this kid, Bradshaw. If his development keeps going the way it is, he could be someone that the Tall Blacks can look for in the future. That was really good.
Bogut to Heel with a tough 3. That was a heat monitor. He wanted to see how hot he was. Boomers get an offensive rebound. Heel to Marr. Aaron Olsen trying everything. Slow Shane Heel down. Nielsen with a tough shot. That's short.
Good contest on the board from Craig Bradshaw again. Just getting a hand to it.
Winatana. Anade. Good spin by Bradshaw. Oh, hello.
The young fella just spins into the lane and puts up the one-handed runner. That was lovely. Go.
Starting to get a feel for the game. That's a tough pass, and he's out of bounds. And the tough thing is, Brett Marsh just joined the team, and he doesn't know the offense as well as the other players. It's difficult for them to execute. And we saw New Zealand exploit that lineup last night when he had new players in. And then we saw Shane Heel come back and get things back on track. But Brett Maher, this is very valuable for the Australian Boomers. Tough defense, and they still have to execute.
Run X in. Craig, you're there. Holly, you're there. AO, you're there. Tony, you're there. Okay? I want to go to Tony. All right? So, Paulie, you're probably there. AO, you're there. All right? I want to go to Tony, so we kick there, kick there. All right? Sorry, Tony, you're out here. Up there. Get it where you're supposed to get it next in. AO, you've got. Is that over there? Corner? Yep. You're there. Okay?
Set the pick. There's a bump, you know, you get a hedge on. I can hit this man for the jump shot at the top.
Well, we see down there in the Tall Black timeout, Steve, 12 turnovers. This time last night they were at 20. And that's been a key. And it's been great. They've really taken care of the basketball. The Australian shooting tonight, 50% from the two-point line, only 44. But look at that turnover rate, 18. That's a complete reversal of last night.
Well, the Boomers know they've got a battle on their hands in this fourth quarter, second test in the Jeep International Series. The Tall Blacks a much improved performance after getting dropped by 30 last night.
I like how they've responded by the Australian run. They've come out here in the fourth quarter, and they look just as poised as ever. Rampton. That's a 5-second call. You don't see many of those. We've seen two.
We've seen two, and that's what I said in the first one. You don't see that often in international basketball. We've seen two in this game, and that really is just all about the intensity on defense.
Now check this battle out front here between Aaron Olsen and Shane Heel. Off the ball, they are just going at it.
Yeah, you're holding him.
Craig Bradshaw holding on to Matty Nielsen. Well, he was in a heap of trouble on a backdoor cut, and you have to hold. And he saves the basket. That's a good foul.
Yep, and you can afford to give up those fouls as long as people aren't scoring.
Skip pass. Nielsen will back in the younger Bradshaw. Tries to get into the middle. Ball's knocked loose. Good D by Winatana.
Winitana has had a whale of a series. You know, he's a factor last night. He's certainly a factor again tonight.
Excellent pass. Hanari can't finish it off. Australia will try to capitalize. Good pass into Nielsen. That's off the mark. Good pressure. We talked about selling it even when you're beat. New Zealand are in hot pursuit all night, even on layups. They've prevented at least 2 to go down with hot pursuit from behind. Rampton for 3.
Yeah! Oh, huge tray from Tony Rampton from downtown. Tall Blacks 72-66 Boomers.
6-0 run by the Tall Blacks, and the intensity is picked up. Australia struggling to get a shot off. Catalini will spin. Brett Maher for deep with tough defense on him. Rampton pulls down the rebound. Good defensive set for the Tall Blacks.
Well, you've got to ask yourself, Steve, for the Boomers, John Riley's not in the game. He hasn't seen any minutes. You know, Jason Smith hasn't been on in this fourth quarter so far. You know, someone's got to make some answers to some questions.
Winitana, he's long from deep, and Australia have a chance to chip into this 6-point lead and score their first point in the fourth quarter. Catalini has good D on him by the strong, quick Winitana. Cat backs him down. That's all class.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers have seen that many times from Martin Catalini. He is a straight-out scorer. Tough move in the lane there to keep Aussie in the game.
5 players, 5 go-to players on the floor for Australia. Winitana goes up. Tries to dunk it, but the strong move rolls in.
Again, we see aggressive play from the Tall Blacks. Getting the job done this time, Winitana.
Hammer with the penetration. Bogut wants to hand off to Shane Heal, and Aaron Olsen, who has been like a glove on Shane Heal, finally gets called for one. But that's how you have to guard Shane Heal.
Absolutely, but you know, one of the things, Paul Winitana has really done a great job, and
all right, here in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes and 42 seconds to go until game time. It's the Tall Blacks 74, Australia 68. And Coach Tab Baldwin with some words for his Tall Blacks.
Yeah, well, you know, he's got to be a happy man. From, you know, 24 hours ago, they were down 30 at this point in the game. They have responded. They have responded like a good international basketball team should after a 30-point whipping. And, you know, Tab and the team have done a great job. The key is, can the Boomers rebound from this? You know, they made that big comeback on the back of Shane Heal's 15 points in the third quarter. The Tall Blacks have just snuck out again. You know, what's the response from Australia going to be? And that's the key.
Well, that's the thing, you know, New Zealand have had an answer for every single run, every single adjustment that Australia have thrown at him tonight. And well, I like how Tab Baldwin just challenged his team going into this game. You know, came right out and said, we were embarrassed. You know, we may as well not go to the Olympics if that's what we're going to do defensively. And they've responded. Look at that team. They don't want C.J. Bruton to have the ball.
You know, look, there he is, the captain. He's taken a rest he won't be out very long, Steve. You know, 5:33. He'll be back in pretty quick.
I think, you know, we might see a bit more C.J. Bruton because I think he wants to see how his players respond. That's a double dribble.
Funnily enough, the referees agree with him.
They've made a couple of calls, the right ones, but some late calls.
Yeah, that was very late. But, you know, C.J. Bruton there, an animated Brian Goorjian.
The crowd here in Christchurch getting behind this Tall Black team. Cameron shedding a bit of skin for the Tall Blacks.
How many times have we seen Big Pero Cameron, the Tall Black captain, on the floor diving for the loose ones?
And that's 2 interior passes that Australia have not been able to make. Jones for 3. Yes! Crowd getting into it, getting behind their team. The Tall Blacks who've had all the answers tonight.
Got through.
Defensive intensity is on an all-time high. Manny Nielsen with an open look. He buries it. That's the first open look we've seen all half.
Well, contesting the shot, Tab talked about their defense. They've definitely stepped that up, and it's made a huge difference tonight.
Still have to keep the pedal on defensively or offensively. Book gets it back from Olsen. He'll spin to the middle. Tough shot. Rebounds pulled down. Knocked away by Jones. Great hustle.
And the crowd love it.
Jones to Aaron Olsen from the corner. Good.
Aaron Olsen, AO, buries a jumper deep in the corner. That's a 9-point lead with 3:55 to go. The Boomers have to respond quickly.
Super hustle. Keeps that thing alive. Bogut, he looked like he traveled. Nielsen gets the offensive rebound. He's fouled by Pero Cameron, and that's a good one. Australia struggling to score. A couple of post feeds, and it's very physical, and we are seeing a committed defense by New Zealand and a 9-point lead.
Well, that's getting the job done for them. There's no doubt about it. They have stepped the defensive pressure up. Last night, the Boomers were able to score 90 points. We've got 3 minutes left. They're sitting on 71. Great job.
And it has been a 4-quarter effort from them. I know this quarter's not over, but I can't imagine that their effort is going to slip here in the last 3.5 minutes of the game. Australia need to stop. Cameron to Dickel. Shot clock down to single figures. Dickel. Jones. Tough shot again. He's hit a number of them. That rolls out. Marr to C.J. Bruton. Kicks it to a wide open Catalini. He buries it.
Wow, ice cold from the corner there. Cat, the big cat, just knocks down a 3 like it's nothing.
That was a big stop and a big shot. Australia able to punish New Zealand in transition. Cameron, another big possession. Jones. Dickel. Long 3. Bogut comes down with a rebound. Big rebound. CJ. Coach Gorgon wants him to run it. Cat pulls up going left. Catalini's off. The whole bench got up for Australia. They wanted that one to go. Tab Baldwin saying slow this thing down. That's Australia's tempo.
There was no one on the offensive glass for the Boomers. The Cats shot it and no one went to the glass. All white shirts on the rebound.
And he wasn't thinking he was going to miss it. Dickel has a shot partially blocked. Catalini picks it up. Marr, will he push it? They'll run their half-court offense. Aaron Olsen has done a tremendous job defensively.
And he's been able to nail 1 or 2 good jumpers.
C.J. Bruton turns the corner. Nielsen, he'll go off the glass. No good. Australia with 2 misses. And New Zealand still with a 4-point lead. Just over a minute and a half to go here in game 2.
Need to keep attacking the Tall Blacks.
Cameron for 3. That's long. Nielsen pulls down the board. C.J. Bruton.
Just a minute 30 now remaining in this game here. Tall Blacks holding on.
C.J. finds Bogut for 3. Offensive rebound. Oh, it'll go to Australia. Crowd don't like that.
The Boomers really hammered the offensive glass here, and the Tall Blacks are not happy with it. But gee, you've got to say to yourself, 1:19 on the clock, down 4.
Time out. Let's try it, Phil.
Time out.
What happened there?
I think he changed the call.
He overruled him?
Yeah,
I think maybe he wants to get a safe drive home tonight.
Well, Gorgin's just stormed off from talking to the referees. He's going to get his troops together.
Point every time. Hey, remember the dribble balls after the point?
We've had on the transition, all right? Trailing postman look to pick the ball, all right? Trailing postman look to pick the ball. Hit, spread, dump in, move off the post, all right? Or on the walk-up, shakes, a quick on ball. DJ, you're playing on the on-ball, do goal side.
They're in the zone. Let's run right. Let's go underneath. Okay? Watch the passing lanes. They're going to be in the passing lanes. Okay? The other option you have is treble penetration. But we don't have to use that because he is wide open. Okay? He's wide open at the point.
Well, yeah, Steve, both coaches are earning their money. That's what it's all about at this level. You know, both of them want different things happening on their offense. Both of them are unhappy, you know, with the execution offensively. And, you know, then defensively, they've just got to get in each other's face. This is going to go down the wire. You know, I think
They've changed it back again, I think.
Yeah, they have given the ball back to Australia. So the original one, and Tab Baldwin is just working Gavin Few over there.
I didn't see it come up, Brent.
Saying that, you know, you change your call, but they haven't. Boomer's ball.
Australia get another chance. CJ Bruton, he's in a lot of trouble down there. Loses the ball.
Well, Pero just ripped that ball off CJ Bruton.
Time. Push this way.
Well, CJ Bruton, you know, Pero Cameron tied him up down low. He made that mistake, and then all of a sudden, he makes another mistake, fouling Paulie Hanardi.
CJ trying to get the steal. He wants that thing back. That's what you do after you lose the ball. Just a minute to go here. New Zealand with a 4-point lead. Matty Nielsen in the passing lanes, just like Tab Baldwin said.
You know, he anticipated that. Tab said they will be in the passing lanes. And Matty Nielsen knew where it was going to. Big PC, that man on screen, the tall black captain.
Right now you got to be thinking possessions. There's 13 seconds on the shot clock right here. Australia need 2 stops to get 2 baskets. New Zealand are thinking we need a score and we need the tough defense with no fouls, so they have to work some time off even if they get a score.
Yeah, from the Boomers' point of view, they've got a lot of time on the clock. And there's the turnover. That's the turnover they wanted.
CJ. Shane Heel. Matty Nielsen throws it out of bounds. Was it tipped? Was it tipped? No, it was not.
Oh. There you go. Shane Hill, the Australian Boomer captain, is not happy.
I didn't even see it.
He is not happy.
He could have had that. It's okay, stay there.
He thought the ball was tipped. And none of the 3 referees even questioned it.
Not one.
Not one, so they got to make a play. Book to Cameron. Jones, they don't want to foul him. Ball stripped away. They got time. Catalini. He finds Bruton. He'll go for 3. That looks good. That's long. Cat pulls down the board. Ball goes to Australia.
Possession arrows, tall black if it's a jump ball. But no. Australian ball underneath.
Timeout on the floor to the Australian Boomers. This game has had it all. It's the Australian Boomers down by 4. Here are the Tall Blacks in Game 2 of the Jeep International Series in preparation for the Olympic Games in Athens.
This has been a great workout, Steve, for both teams. Both teams will benefit from this hit out.
All right? Offensively now, at the out of bounds, the old one. All right? Matty, CJ, you take the ball out of bounds. Shane, you want to set the up pick. All right? Up pick. Space. Matty's coming to you now. Set the screen in. Catch. Go opposite the ball. On ball and play the 2 game. Yeah, set a good up pick, fellas. We're pressing. Yeah. We don't get a steal. You got it.
Well, you know, Brian Gorgian, he said after that offensive set, the next offensive set, they want to press. They are going to be all in the face of the white shirts, the Tall Blacks. They need to score here, the Boomers, and then have a great defense play. Still a lot of time on the clock, Steve, 21.2 seconds. You know, if the Boomers score here, ton of time.
Well, they've had their opportunities. They've missed 4 shots with a 4 being down by 4. Shane Heel with a long one. That rims out. That's pretty much it. Book is fouled straight away by Martin Catalini. Still, there's plenty of time. But a good quick foul by Martin Catalini. And not in the bonus yet. There's another timeout on the floor. Tab Baldwin not making any mistakes in this one. He wants to see this one through and get this W.
Well, you know, people are going to say, did the Boomers, Steve, did the Boomers take it easy after the 30-point drubbing last night? Were they a little bit complacent? Because the Tall Blacks were not complacent. They've come out aggressive, offensively and defensively. You know, the young guys have stepped up, come to play. Bradshaw set the platform early. You know, all of a sudden, then Phil Jones just exploded onto the scene. He scored 18. Book has exploded onto the scene. We saw Shane Heel lead the comeback for the Boomers. Do you think there was a little bit of complacency after winning by so much in the first game? Because right now, we have a series.
Yeah, okay, I'll answer that. I want to see what he runs right here. Okay, go for the ball and get a quick foul. Obviously, the Boomers want to get some free throws happening. Still a lot of time. But, you know, the answer to your question about did they come out with some complacency, I always think the team that got humiliated has the advantage because they come out and they're desperate. Australia wasn't desperate. Complacent? I don't think so. I think that they have been outplayed, and that happens. A quick foul this time. It's Jones who gets the ball, and
because the Tall Blacks and Australia both had a foul to give, so you know that's the 4th team foul for Australia. So the next one will be shooting free throws.
Only 1.5 seconds left. Good off the clock when they foul on that one. Pero Cameron will go to the free throw line. I believe it's bonus time. He'll go to the line for 2 shots.
One will really put the Boomers out for the night, and gee, what a decider we're going to have tomorrow afternoon, Steve. And that'll be going live onto here, onto Sport tomorrow, live going back into Australia and Fox, your network back home.
That's right. I mean, all even for Game 3 is a lot more interesting to watch. The crowd's going to be into it. Both teams have so much pride. Pero Cameron knocking that one down and putting this baby out of reach. Now it is definitely 2 possessions for them to get it. CJ loses the basketball. It was thrown by Matty Nielsen. Not a great pass. Hanari will dribble this thing out. This thing is all over, baby. It's New Zealand tying this puppy up with Australia. The series is tied up at 1 each. We'll have our decider live tomorrow here on 2 and on Fox Sports in Australia. What a contest it always is between these two countries, the Boomers and the Tall Blacks. In the end, Tall Blacks too tall, too big, too intense, too hungry. 80 points to 75. Well, as an organizer, you couldn't have written the script any better than that. New Zealand bounced back from a humiliating 30-point loss in Game 1 to show you their heart and their pride to bounce back here in Game 2 against a very tenacious Australian Boomers who shot the basketball well. They shot it at 50% clip in the first half, and they had that run in the third quarter, so they saw the best of Australia.
You know, I was with them at the World Championships, and, you know, this game is the same feeling. Sure, the big picture is the Olympics, but, gee, Tab Baldwin and the Tall Blacks, we take your hat off to you yet again. You've surprised us. You've exhilarated us.
All right, let's go down to the sideline with the Toops.
Way to go, Ed Bocke. What a turnaround from last night, mate. You must be thrilled. 4th time in the history we've beaten Australia, leveled the series. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. You know, this is actually my first win against Australia. You know, it was a totally different turnaround from last night. You know, we knew what we had to do. Last night we didn't do it. Tonight we came out. We played with composure. We played with intensity. We came with the hustle, and that's what wins games.
Well, Tab Baldwin talked about, you know, the spirit amongst your Tall Black team, and we saw that tonight, didn't we, Ed?
Oh, yes, we definitely saw it tonight. You know, we've been together for the last 2 weeks now, and, you know, we're actually kind of tired of each other. You know, we want to take the frustration out on other people now, and Australia is always a good one to take that out on.
And Ed, I mean, aggressive play for you, really sort of set the platform, you know, more of the same tomorrow night, eh?
Oh, definitely. You know, we only got maybe 15 hours rest right now before our next game in that. But we need to go back right now, get some recovery work done in that, get some good night's sleep, get on the plane, and go to work tomorrow again.
Well, Ed, it was a pleasure watching you beat Aussie tonight, buddy, and look forward to watching you tomorrow night, buddy.
Thanks a lot, man. Cool.
All right, so we're all tied up at 1 each in the Jeep International 3-game series at full time. There you see it. It's the Tall Blacks 80, Australia 75.
Well, I'm with the victorious captain, Pero Cameron of the Tall Blacks. Fantastic. I know I tried a lot of times with you, Pero, to beat those Aussies, but great turnaround for you guys tonight.
Yeah, it was a big turnaround for us, you know, considering last night's game where we got absolutely thumped. And, you know, we showed it early in the game, and, you know, just a little bit of heart, a little bit of brights out there, and kept us in the game, and we're fortunate to win it towards the end there.
Now, some spirited performances, you know, from everyone in your team. You look like you were really attacking the basket.
Yeah, I think, you know, yesterday, I was shooting a lot of the ball from the outside, and, you know, their bigs were getting a little bit sort of relaxed. You know, they're getting a lot of easy, sort of, they weren't tired, you know, and so we want to put them in a bit more foul trouble and go at them a little, and things were good for us early. And we struggled down the stretch here. They pulled it with in the end of the third, and they were tied up, and it was tough. And we grinded it out, and we still got one left.
Well, that's right. We still got one left tomorrow. Can the boys pick it up again and do it again, eh?
Hopefully. You know, yesterday we were bad. Today we're good. You know, we want to be better tomorrow. I think we're improving, adjusting, and that's good for us.
BC, way to go, big fella.
I don't know. Can Toops get any more excited about that victory? It was a great win for the Tall Blacks, 80-75. Don't forget, tomorrow we're live on 2 at 2:45, and also live on Fox Sports in Australia at 12:45 in the East. I want to thank my fellow commentators, Chris Tupu and Jeff Green. I'm Steve Carfino, and we're out.